Nervous? Nervous?
Game 7's always good.
Yeah.
Mark, starts and finishes have seemed to be kind of a theme of the series. How much are you looking forward to seeing kind of how your team responds just right out of the gates tonight, and how long they can kind of sustain that level of focus?
I'm certainly excited to see us play. It's a great experience for us to go through together. There's no team I'd rather be going through with than this one. But in terms of starts and finishes, it's a 48-minute game. Every game's different. We don't know how this one will unfold. But we need to be as good as sharp as we can be, possession by possession, first quarter, fourth quarter, second, third.
Who else we got? Andrew?
What are your thoughts on just shot quality versus like field goal percentage in this series? Because like it seems like you guys have gotten good shots, but the field goal percentage has been lower than it probably should be according to that data. Like what do you do with that?
It's a good question. Some of it is relative to the defense that they're playing. They've played a lot of zone, which changes kind of the pie chart of what can be expected. A lot of it, I agree with you. We've gotten pretty good shots. I think if you look at like our expected offensive rating, our expected shot making, we're a little below that. Some of that might just be it's the playoffs and the closeouts are a little harder and things like that. But the biggest, reason we use it is not to overreact. It's like if you were just chasing your shadow based on the outcomes, it doesn't position you optimally for the next possession or the next game or the next approach. And so there's certainly adjustments we've made to try to make our shots as quality as possible, but when you get good ones and they don't go, the worst thing you can do is change for the sake of changing. Just your anxiety changes it rather than your brain, and so that's how we try to do it.
Mark, with Gordon unlikely to go, how are you guys preparing for that?
I mean, he doesn't play every minute of every game, so there's times that he's not out there that we're aware of how that changes the complexion of their team. If he doesn't play, we'll be prepared for that. But if he is out, if he was out for a series, it would greatly change things. But in a single game thing, it's Game 7. Anything can happen. Anybody can step up. We've got to be ready for their best punch. We are. We know they're going to throw their best punch, and so are we.
And we've talked about your depth all year. You certainly have more depth in this series. Is that something that can sort of shine through in a Game 7?
Yeah, I mean, we're running our race. We're not doing it relative to our opponent, but I trust our players, and I've seen a lot of these guys deliver in a lot of different situations. A lot of it will depend on how the game's going and reacting to the game. So I don't have like a preset plan of exactly who will play and how much, but I trust all the guys in the locker room, and certainly trust them in situations like this.
Yeah, Mark, 75% of Game 7s have been won by the home team, but the visitors have won 7 of the last 10, I think. You have any reason for why that's tilting a little, and how much comfort do you have knowing you get to play at home?
You always ask me these like macro questions, and I feel so overwhelmed with the burden of trying to answer these large trends. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. On the first part, we're certainly excited to play at home. These players have earned it with the regular season that we had, and so we'd certainly rather play the game at home than on the road. But when the ball goes up in the air, the better team's going to win, and so that's our challenge once the ball goes up. But we're certainly excited we get to share this with our fans. We know they'll be putting the wind at our back, and the whole city is behind us right now. We feel that in the community. We certainly feel it in the games.
Mark, alluded to Andrew's question, just how would you grade the overall force of this team through the first 6 games that you've always talked about with offensive force?
Yeah, I mean, Denver's done a good job with the zone, keeping us off balance, especially early in the series. And I think as time's gone on, we've kind of calibrated to when they're going to it, and how they're going to it and how we want to attack it. And so our attacks against it have gotten increasingly more comfortable and familiar for us, which allows you to play with more force. And so I think that's improved as the series gone on, but we have to play with unbelievable force and physicality today. This is a game you have to go take. That's how you win Game 7. You go and take it, and that's got to be our mentality.
Anyone else?
All right, thank you.
Isn't that funny how somebody can say the same thing, but just do it in a way that's so much more embedded? Answer about 2/3 of the question. Not sure. Not sure. I always said that. Job has to set that on the team. Not sure.
Yeah, no worries. I didn't know if there was somebody else sitting here.
Office Depot.
I was thinking of handles. I mean, he's the game for you. How's it feel being on the other side? I get the sense that it's
I'll take that. I wasn't wearing Nothing more. Nothing more to it than that. I mean, I'll retweet it and say it's true. Never mind.
Oh, Super 7. We do. Number top has bombs.
that for me.
I still don't know. 2 days, so.
Well, we're stuck here. Stuck place. Is it on the, what, west, east?
It's gonna be north towards campus. So we're here.
So can we avoid it?
I guess
To get back to them?
they could fly around.
That's fine. That's why go down and around.
Can you help me?
Next 2 days, apparently.
Yeah. I'm in Twisters.
Really?
I'm an extra. I'm a meteorology student.
Oh, yeah. That movie's awesome.
Yeah, this is one of extras.
Maybe we should write action forecast the weather. How do you know we have some? We know.
And say I'm my little pal. It was. They dressed me up as a cowboy and threw me in a fake rodeo. Yeah. It was city.
We had literally just.
Good thing you did, because they can never find a cowboy. Impossible, just impossible.
Got to turn to the meteorologist.
So originally they would have a scene like all the students as we were older, and then they like scrapped it. So they just took us and made us ridiculous. It was like 110 degrees, and we sat
Well, all I'm thinking is like, I have a giant window.
They pay you well
About high. How
for the
long?
day?
Yeah. And I gotta say, I was.
I mean, if it's a baseball
Probably worth it.
I would have done it for free.
Were you in the movie? You could
You didn't see my shoulder.
That's all you saw?
That's all you can see.
this morning.
Do you know your shoulder? It was.
I was on the way when it was storming.
That's what I'm saying.
Awoken. It's very convenient and also it's very tough to because it's a conference center. So there's always conferences going on, like convention centers right across the street. Like on weekends. So there was one time during the regular season where there was a farmer's convention or a farmer's conference and a dance convention across the street. So it was like farmers, dance moms, and dance girls, and elevators and elevators. It was It is quite a group.
Go ahead.
David, there's some different reporting out there. Some say Aaron has a grade 2 strain. Others say he's still questionable. Is there a chance he goes today?
Yeah, he's going through the process right now. Grade number, I don't really honestly know, but he's trying to play. Obviously, he is injured, but he's going to go through the process, see if he can give us something. If he can't go, or if he goes and he can't continue, we have plenty of guys that can step up. That's what these things are about. It's a team sport. So the initiating, ball handling responsibilities go to different people. They've done that in the past throughout the season. Obviously, this is a big moment. But yeah, if Aaron can go, he'll go. That's who he is. There's a real toughness there. But sometimes being really, really tough and being hurt, that can get in the way. So we'll see when we get to game time.
And then a there. What role do you see yourself playing in this decision? You kind of mentioned it there that he's a tough guy who wants to play.
Yeah.
But is there a role where you feel like you have to step in and say, hey, this isn't wise for the long term?
I think my role as a coach is to make sure if it isn't wise to us winning the game, I have to get him out. But no, we've had a conversation, medical staff, Aaron. It's a personal conversation. You want to do what's right for somebody. You also want to know what the extent of an injury can get to. So those are the conversations we've had. I talked to him last night. So it's been an open dialogue, but we're working our way through it, see where where he's at right now mentally after he goes through the process.
In your time around basketball, do you subscribe to the old adage that like role players play better at home? And if so, do you have a reason for why that is?
It seems like they do. I think there's just something about the crowd. It calms you down as opposed to the pressure of being on the road. I've seen statistics in the past where that's not the case, but it seems like for the most case it is. This game is completely different. This is not like a comfortable game two, playing at home up 1-0 or something like that. This is it. So there's pressure on everybody out there. And missed shots and poor possessions feel like a lot more in a game 7. So, they've had their games here where they've shot the ball really well. They've had guys step up. Last game it was us, with Julian making his run in the second half. So, that can turn the tide. If one of these guys on one of these teams has that game that they'll never forget. So we know that's what this is, elimination game. So I'm hoping that that's not the case today.
You mentioned Aaron's toughness, and obviously the guy who's going to want to play. Is it ultimately his decision, or is it a medical staff decision?
Yeah, it's a collective decision. But obviously, the person themselves, it's what they feel. They have to communicate where they're at, and it's not just the mental, it's obviously the physical. Like I said, it's been open dialogue with Aaron. We will get to game time and make the proper decision for him, for us as a team. Because like I said, there is the Aaron part of it, and there's also what's best for the group going out there trying to win a game 7. So it'll be managed correctly. We have a great team in there, a medical team. And like I said, when I'm done with this, I'll definitely go and have a conversation.
David, going through this thing for the first time as a head coach, what has been your process, and what have you leaned on to kind of keep your nerves in check?
Yeah, this thing has not been anxiety-based for me. I just think if you have a process of doing your job correctly, getting ready for the game the right way, the 2 days off helped a lot, especially for me to organize myself and my thoughts. I'd say the challenge with this one is obviously when you have somebody you don't know if they're going to play or not, you have to prepare different ways. And that's how it was with Michael in the last series. Because it changes your complete rotation, it changes your play calls, it changes your out-of-timeout plays, your end-of-game strategy, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, my process has been the same, and it's a different role. It's delegation, all those things. But being the lead assistant for the last 4 years, there was a process with that as well. And each game was its own thing. And you just have to respect, what this is and these jobs that you have. Everybody on staff has the same thing. It's whether it's game 7 or game 7 of the regular season, it's do the job correctly, do it the best you can, and let things fall as they may. That's how I've looked at it.
I feel like most people just sort of relate the zone to deterring drives, but it's also helped you guys occupy around the elbow space. How has that helped against 2 high-level mid-range shooters like J-Dub and Shea? Yeah, I said it yesterday. They're really hard to beat to their spots. And so if you can be in those spots to begin with, it gives you a better chance to deter the rhythm of the way they shoot the ball from that, I'd say 12 to 18-foot area. And if you can make them shoot more 18-footers and 12-footers, it makes a huge difference. Those guys, when their feet touch the paint, they're as efficient as anybody in the NBA. And we know that. And there's a physicality part to that. There's also, a schematic part where you can put people in positions take that away, but that also opens up other things. Offensive rebounding, their role players had open threes throughout game 4 and 5, so you have to test the waters a little bit. But you can't just do the same thing the whole game with those 2 guys. Like, they're too good. So the zone has helped us. It hasn't been perfect, but I've loved the energy in it. Because zone is not just standing around. It's actually a lot of activity, a lot of communication, reliance on the man next to you. And Mark does a great job. They've shown us different alignments throughout. So we'll have to react during the game, but you're definitely going to see the zone today.
Is there any extra attention in prep for this game on the games you won against OKC without Aaron in the regular season, and anything specifically that you were able to take from those?
Well, one of the games he didn't play, we made shots, and the role players made shots. So, yeah, believe me, Aaron not playing and us winning a game 4 months ago, no, give me Aaron Gordon. But what it does tell you is that these guys can step up against his team, and they can have an impact if he can't go. And we're going to need guys to step up and make shots like we've talked about throughout the series. You know, we've lost games and shot the ball really poorly, and then I go back and watch the film and say, I would take all those shots again. And that may be today. If they go to the big lineup and we can't get to the paint like in Game 6 and get to the free throw line, guys are going to step up and make shots like they did in that game you're talking about earlier this season. So I'm excited for the opportunity for the other people. I always am. It may not seem like that because I have a really short rotation, but I am. Like what Julian did the other night, the moment he had for himself, you hope that can happen tonight for somebody else.
You mentioned the extra off day. This has been a breakneck schedule.
Yeah.
This series, you haven't had time to do anything, I assume. But with an extra day, by sundown tonight, you're going to have 3 regular season games as a head coach and 2 Game 7s.
Yeah.
Have you taken time to just think, wow, what this last month has been like?
I have not. I think when it's all over, I've said this about all that things have gone on in the playoffs. You know, when I sit down and take a deep breath, yeah, I'm sure I'll look back and go, wow, this is a crazy run. But part of your responsibilities in your job is it's not about you. It's a collective team effort to try to get ready to win games. And as the head coach of the team, that's my job, is to help those guys feel good mentally, put them in the best position possible to win games. But yeah, when it's over, I'm sure I'll go back to Oregon, take a deep breath, and wonder, wow, that was a wild, wild 6 weeks. Hopefully it's a wild, wild 9 weeks. Thank you, Coach. Yep. Thanks, guys.